Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to our monthly meeting of meditation with Chashi Skobac. For me, a peaceful time of the month where I can learn something new that actually helps me in time of stress to decompress and refocus on what needs to be refocused on. So, yeah, I won't babble anymore. Let's just jump right in and say hello to Hashi. Good evening, Hashi. So good to be with you. How's the weather there? How's everything in Toronto? And we
Well,
hope you're
it's
doing well.
freezing. It's frigid cold here. It's way below zero. I had to keep the water dripping last night in one of our faucets so the pipe wouldn't freeze. So it's been really cold.
Well, we've got snow here, but last week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, last week, we really dipped down to minus 25, 30. The whole lake out there was sublimating, just steam coming off the lake. Yeah, but it's been a mild winter overall for Canada. We've had that little bit of cold spell. I mean, it's we've had snow today, and it's supposed to get down to the minus teens tonight here, but I think it's going up into the pluses in a couple of days here. So, yeah,
Something to
yeah,
look forward to.
yeah, it was so good to be with you, and we're going to turn the class over to you. So I've posted out there. If anybody has any relevant comments or questions, feel free to drop a chat in the chat room, and if it's relevant, I'll get it to Hashi. Shalom, Sheila. My mother is online, and she is back east, not too far from you. She's in Hamilton, so.
Okay, hello, Sheila.
All right, so we're going to turn it over to you, Hashi.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. Nice to be with you again. Um, so the first meditation we're going to do was inspired by this winter. And in the winter, everything seems so bare. There's no leaves on the trees, and the days are shorter. But when you think about it for a moment, the trees shed their leaves so that in the winter, the light and warmth from the sky can get through much easier when we need it. And in the summer, the leaves are there and give you shade when you need it from the blazing sunlight. So I thought about that and I realized that our physical world can often give a spiritual message. So to me, the message is that our thoughts can be like those leaves. And if we want the light and the warmth of Hashem's presence to get through to our awareness, if we want to experience Hashem's presence, we sometimes need to shed our thoughts at those times because they can distract us and block the awareness and feeling of being close to Hashem or to presence of God. Once we can feel connected, if a thought is relevant to how we feel being in Hashem's presence, then that kind of thought will not be distracting. In fact, that kind of thought can help us feel close to Hashem. So the question is, why can ordinary thoughts keep us from experiencing Hashem's or God's presence? We're attached and invested in ordinary thoughts of everyday life. And some of them are really important to us. Those thoughts may trigger emotions or other things current in our life, and they can take us in their own direction. They bring us into the realm of our everyday activities that is relevant for those thoughts. For instance, if you had an argument with someone, or if you made a new friend, those thoughts can intrude when you're not really wanting them to come into your mind. And they come with emotions and they bring you way, way in their own directions, in their own realm. Now, we say that God is holy, and the Hebrew word is kodesh. And kodesh means separate, apart from other things. In this case, in a special higher place of its own. God is in his own realm, as we understand, and not of our physical world. God can maintain that separateness, we learn, all the while being with us and guiding us and helping us, and also giving us free choice. God can be in these two different places or do these two seemingly contradictory things. God is the creator of this world and of all things. We're going to do a meditation inspired by the trees, and we're going to use that image to help us experience what I was just describing. So, just as we have in the past, you're going to get in the meditation position that we've been using, which is sitting in a chair, having your feet flat on the floor, and having your hands on your lap with your palms either up or facing down. Your back will be straight, but not stiff. Your neck will be aligned straight with your back, but not stiff. You'll feel relaxed, but you'll be sitting up straight. Hopefully, if you have a straight back chair, that would be helpful. If your chair has a back that leans back, then you might want to bring pillows to help your back keep straight. I'll give you a minute to get a pillow or change your chair. We'll start slowly so that if you're just bringing a chair or a pillow, you'll be able to also get in on the beginning. So we're going to close our eyes and imagine, experience yourself, feel yourself to be a tree. Your body is the trunk. The top of your body is sort of like the branches, like your arms, even though your arms are going down and your hands are on your lap, but those are the branches. And your hair and that whole area on the top is the leaves. And you're going to, with your eyes closed, imagine yourself like this in your mind's eye. And feel yourself as you're sitting straight to be a tree with a straight trunk and some branches. And the branches are filled with leaves at the top. And be very relaxed as you experience yourself as a tree. And become aware of your breath. Breathing slowly. Yes, in this case, a tree is breathing like us. And become aware of your inhale and your exhale. And let your awareness rest on your inhale and your exhale. And it should be a nice, relaxed breath at a pace that's comfortable for you. And slowly on your exhale, feel yourself shedding some of your leaves that fall to the ground. Now we know that in the fall, trees start shedding their leaves, but this happens slowly over time. It does not happen all at once. So with each exhale, you are going to experience shedding some of those leaves. And feel how they are falling to the ground. Maybe some of the leaves are kind of twirling through the air as they fall, like you've seen. Maybe some are just falling slowly down. But with each exhale, you are shedding a few more of your leaves. And as they fall, you can see that some of the light above you in your mind is allowed in to the awareness, your tree awareness. And this is a process with each exhale. Some more of your leaves will fall to the ground. And we'll take a few more of these breaths until all of your leaves will be shed.
Yeah, thinking of the leaves shedding and the things that can be distracting. Yeah, I mean, I was staring down by where I work near the lake there, across the street in the courthouse. They have a couple of old maple trees, big, thick,
Dan, I
huge.
just want to know if you can share that with us when the meditation is over, because
Okay,
I don't want people's thoughts to go in the direction of your wonderful story.
okay.
So I want to hear it, but let's wait to the end of the meditation. Now that all of your leaves or most of your leaves are shed, what is left? All your leaves are gone. So just become aware of what is left, which is your trunk sitting there. Yes, this tree can sit, apparently. And the branches. And the branches are bare. It's just your trunk and the bare branches. And that light from above, which is allowed in more since there are no leaves to block it from coming down. So all that's left is, so to speak, the bare bones essentials of you, your body and your branch, your trunk and your branches, the bare branches. No leaves to dress you up, no leaves to cover your bare trunk and branches, just the essentials. But this bareness allows the light above you to be in view. And this tree, you are good. Well, thank God for this time of having shed your leaves, this time of bareness that allows light in from above. So just sit a moment, you in your treeness with no leaves, and bask in that light, which is coming down all around you, that light from above, and enveloping your trunk and your branches. Feel that light that can come down now all the way to reach you. And on your exhale, as you breathe out, you're feeling that light come down and you're letting it go at the end of your exhale. You're letting the light go because on your inhale, you're going to bring more light down you're going to replenish the supply of the light. So breathe in and replenish the light, like breathing in the light. And slowly exhale. And bring the light down slowly all around you. And breathe in. And breathe in more light. Fill yourself with light. And when you exhale, slowly let the light come down all around you. And let it go. And inhale more light. And slowly exhale. And bring the light all the way down around you. And let it go. And allow this light, as you repeat this, to permeate you and your surroundings more and more. As you continue with the breath, the inhale and the exhale, breathing in the light and bringing it down and letting it go. You may feel that the light within and without you, within and surrounding you, is increasing. This holy light this godly light this light that nourishes trees in the winter and nourishes us in the winter. And we thank God for this holy light. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes and come back to the place where you are sitting. And feel refreshed and aware and relaxed. And with a tool that you can use when you see the bare trees. So, Dan, two things. I want to hear your story, and I want to know if anybody had written a question.
Yeah, my story. I was just thinking, about the leaves, and sometimes too many people hang on to things they ought not to hang on to, and it brought to mind. I was watching the leaves fall this year, and across the street in our downtown courthouse, there's some huge maple trees, old maple trees, with the big Canadian maple leaves. Nonetheless, the bigger ones were the last ones to shed their leaves. And it's like, okay, I said to myself, and I wondered and I pondered, I said, well, they must have the deepest roots. But for some reason, they were the last to shed their leaves. And I still think, even still, there's some hanging on the very, very, very top. All the leaves have fallen all around the bulk of the tree, but the very top, unless the wind from the last week has blown them off, sometimes people just need to be able to let go. But then I liked your analogy of the warmth and the necessity in it. The only we got a few comments on Facebook. Shirley Ann Lindberg says she quotes Isaiah 55:12. She says, "Yes, you will go out with joy and be led forth with peace. The mountains and the hills will break forth before you singing, and all the trees of the field will clap their hands." Excellent verse, Shirley Ann. Thank you so much. And
Thank you, Shirley.
yeah, pretty quiet on YouTube, but yeah, we're getting more people viewing on Facebook, which is nice. So I shared it on a bunch of channels, so hopefully some people take interest. So yeah, but for me, I find there's always opportunity to slow down, take a breath, and relax. And if something's anxious, let it go. Let it go. There's nothing worse than trying to draw close to Hashem and having distracting thoughts. So, got to learn to let things go, and it's difficult for
I
some.
think I liked what you're saying, Dan, about holding on to things and the need to let go. I mean, I think it's really true. And I think that we can take a lesson from the trees. And also in the winter time, we're indoors more. It's a good time to sit inside and meditate. Take a time out of the day, even a few minutes, and do your meditation and look to the trees for inspiration as they have shed their leaves or they're in the process of shedding their leaves. Um, and I think that when people look out the window in the winter or go outside in the winter, they look at the trees and they see these bare branches and they say, oh, that's too
Everything's
bad. They have
asleep.
to lose the beautiful leaves. But then instead, they could look between the branches and see the light coming through. And they don't look at the space between the branches. So I think that's something we can remember to do, and we can thank the trees for allowing that space to appear between the branches and letting the light through. And thank God for who created the trees. I once was in or more of a western part of Canada, not as west as you are, Dan, but we took a special train ride that was supposed to be that was in some hills and mountains to see like incredible views. It was like on the edge of these mountains, this train
Oh, like
path.
Jasper or Banff
No, it
area
wasn't Jasper. It was actually near Sault Ste. Marie, not too far from Sault Ste. Marie. It was a special
uh,
tourist train ride,
in Ontario. Yeah, I've been
and we
all up
took
through
it.
there. Yeah.
But the problem was we took it at a time when the trees were have fully had their leaves in full array. And so we couldn't see anything. We couldn't see any of the views because the leaves were blocking it. And I realized, oh, I love trees, I love leaves, But here it defeated the purpose of that train ride. So yeah, that's what happened. But usually I love looking at the leaves, but I like now looking at between the branches as well, the bare branches.
Yeah,
The shapes of the branches are beautiful.
the leaves can make a forest dark.
They can, absolutely, that's true. And you have to have like the special little path for the ray of sun to come down. Okay, we're going to start a second meditation if there's no more comments or questions. So Dan, if there are, you can let me know. And if not, we're going to start a meditation, second meditation. Okay. So this is a verse from the Bible. It says, God says to Moses in the desert, God says, make me a holy place and I will dwell among you. Now, this is a biblical reference that if telling Moses that God would like a tabernacle built in the desert, which is sort of like a portable temple. And if it's built to the specifications that God designates, then Hashem or God will be able to dwell within that tabernacle and therefore among the Jewish people in the desert. And so, in fact, this tabernacle was built. It was called the Mishkan. But the commentators on that verse have another way, an additional way of interpreting that verse. And they say that another meaning is build me a holy place so I can dwell within you, meaning within each person. Build me a holy place so I can dwell among you. The first way, the literal way of interpreting the verse, and a deeper, more personal way of interpreting the verse, make me a holy place so I can dwell within you. So that means to build like an internal tabernacle so God can dwell within each and every person who does that. So it's pointing to the fact that we can experience the presence of God within ourselves if we make a holy place or a special place. Now, we can do this without having to imagine we're a tree shedding our leaves. We can do this as being a person, a human being, if we make this special place for God. So, what does it mean to make God a holy place within us? Well, like we defined holy or kodesh before, the Hebrew word is kodesh, it means a separate, dedicated to something special. In this case, dedicated, designated to being a place for God. And nothing that's unrelated can be in this space, this place. Otherwise, as soon as something unrelated comes in, the place is no longer kodesh. It's no longer separate. It's no longer holy. And it's very easy for that to happen. And we're always talking about distracting thoughts. In this case, thoughts are very relevant. So creating a space within that's holy, that's special for God, means clearing our mind from bothersome thoughts like we were just discussing, like Dan just brought up. like we were talking about in the previous meditation. And to just have this internal space free and clear and empty of any of those distracting thoughts. And a lot of times, a tool that can help us, we can again find in the physical world. So, a very common thing that we find ourselves doing in everyday life, which could be a help in this attempt, this effort, this goal of clearing our mind, is if you're sitting, for instance, at a desk, let's say, you want to do some work and the desk is cluttered. Well, maybe you're sitting at a desk now, maybe you're sitting at a table now. If you are and you have stuff there, you can take the objects and move them to the side and clear yourself a place, a clear space in the middle of all those objects. Or imagine yourself doing that when you're at a desk and you want to do some work, or you want to sit down at a table and do some kind of work. You first have to clear the table if there's all kinds of stuff there. Well, that's basically what it's like to clear your mind. And sometimes if you're going to meditate and you want help doing that, you could actually sit at a table that's sort of cluttered and first clear it, move stuff to the side, and with an empty space in the middle. And that empty space is a physical reminder, a physical example of a clear space. And in this case, it's going to be a clear space within ourselves. So we're going to start again in our second meditation. And we're going to get in our meditative position with your feet on the floor. And your back is straight but not stiff. And your neck is straight but not stiff. You're not slumping, you're nice and aligned. And before you put your arms and hands on your lap, I want you to do the following. You're going to take your hands and arms and you're going to move them like this. And what are you doing? You're kind of making a motion where you're taking anything that's cluttering inside your mind and you're moving it away. You're moving it out of your space. So you're doing a motion that's a gesture that expresses clearing away thoughts, distractions, feelings that you don't want there now for this meditation. And have that in mind as you're moving your arms, that you're clearing your mind. And put your hands down on your lap again. And close your eyes. And become aware of your breath. Let your awareness fall on the movement of your breath. and you are breathing in a very relaxed pace that is comfortable for you. And notice that on the exhale, you are letting the breath go. You're breathing out, and you let the breath go. In that sense, you are emptying yourself out. And as you breathe out, breathe out any extraneous thought that you may have or that comes in your mind. Breathe it out with your exhale. And you don't mind letting your breath go because you know that on your inhale, you will get another breath. Thank God. So on your exhale, you feel very comfortable just letting your breath go. And with each exhale, I want you to consciously feel that you are clearing your mind. Even if you don't have any extraneous thoughts, nevertheless, I want you to feel that your mind is being cleared. Sort of like somebody cleaning their house, whether it's dirty or not. You can sort of feel the breath of the exhale going out from your head and clearing your mind. And going out from your face and your chest and clearing your internal space. And you expand on the inhale with the new breath. Slowly exhale, let it go. clearing your mind and your internal space. And you may feel that this holy space that you are creating with your breath and your mind, this holy space within you, is getting a little bit expanded, a little bit larger with each of your breaths. With each of your exhales. That's continually clearing it. And you can say, I am creating this space for you, Hashem. You can say that to yourself. I am creating this space for you, Hashem. I am creating a holy place for you, God, to dwell within me. You said, God, make for me a holy place so I can dwell within you. I am making a holy place for you to dwell within me. Please always dwell within me, Hashem. Please always dwell within me, Hashem. Please always be with me, Hashem. Please be with every person who is calling for you, Hashem. Who is calling for you sincerely. Please guide every person to truly be with you, Hashem. Thank you, Hashem, for giving me each breath to keep creating a space for you. And you can silently say a little prayer of your own. Thank you, Hashem, for being with me. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes, knowing you can always come back to this meditation whenever you want. It's always there for you. And when you're ready, you can come back to the place where you're sitting, feeling refreshed and fully awake and relaxed and confident that Hashem is with you.
Beautiful.
Dan, are there any comments or questions? Okay, maybe they're still meditating. It's possible, or they just have no questions or comments. That's very possible.
Yeah, yeah. It could be so relaxed as well.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Almost become like a tree. Oh, you're getting lots of hearts.
Oh, that's good. That's a good comment. That's a very good comment. That says it all. It's really a good thing to make meditation part of your routine, even if it's just for a few minutes. And it's very helpful to get through your day, or especially if you're going to have something that's going to be challenging for you. But anything, just turning on the news is a challenge. We've got so much difficult stuff going on in the world, like did a meditation about last time we met, the war.
Hmm.
Hate to bring that up when we're nice and relaxed, but it's still going
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
It,
Imagine going through the streets of Gaza. I remember that.
in the tunnels and the streets. But, one thing that's really heartwarming is to see the soldiers praying and to putting on this holy garment that sits seat and praying before they go in and keeping things, lighting Shabbat candles and everything in Gaza. Like they're really bringing a lot of light there. And it's important. I've been, to pray for their safety. It's not the safest place in the world to be.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. We're praying for them regularly, and
I forgot to say at the beginning of this meditation session that we're dedicating this whole session to the safety of the military, the Israeli military war effort, the safety of all the soldiers, and also to getting the hostages back quickly and safely, to being able to rescue them out, all of them quickly, and
yeah.
that they should be
That
alive and
Hamas would just
healthy.
lay down their arms and abandon their futility.
Right, right. I agree. I'm into that. So hopefully we'll hear good news about that soon.
Mm, yeah, I do the classes with my rabbi in Jerusalem, and I'll tell you, they've even called up seniors working as recruitment and things of that nature. I mean, people are involved. There's positive tone in the sense that a lot of the liberals have even woken up and realized that, um, yeah. So they're seeing positivity coming out of there, but they hear of a lot of miraculous things in the sense, during the conflict that, yeah, they're just a lot of miraculous testimony. But my rabbi's very sullen on the whole matter himself, but. We just pray that Hashem has His way always, and yeah, we hope it doesn't escalate further and further abroad. And it's Hamas needs to lay down their arms and abandon their reckless cause.
Well, I agree. They do need to, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Hope for the best.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Pray
Well,
for it.
Well, Hashi, that's our hour. Always a joy to be with you. I find I pick up little hints and tips, and at least it brings recollection in a time when I need to just decompress and clear my headspace. And I like that last meditation about making room for Hashem, a separate place, and clean it out and. Yeah, invite Hashem into your life for sure, and it's the only way of living.
Yep, I agree.
So, any final
So
words
thanks
before we
again,
end?
Dan, huh?
Any final words before we end?
I just want to thank you, Dan, again for always broadcasting this and making this possible. Really, without you, we couldn't do this, and we're very appreciative,
It's
extremely
my joy. It's
appreciative.
my joy. Learning so much from the Hebrew people. It's just, yeah, I find myself reading and studying more and trying to share any chance I can. And it's just another opportunity, and it's a joy to consider meditation and more peaceful living. And yeah, I hope people out there get the theme and be encouraged to make the world a better place. And it begins with us individually. And yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, Dan. So good night, everybody. See you in a few weeks.
All
And
right.
hopefully we'll hear some very good news in the interim. Who just keep praying for it and
Right.
doing good stuff.
So yeah, till next month, next time, we're going to say goodnight from meditation with Chashi Skobac. Till next time, bye for now.